So after day 2 of the first test in Antigua, it's time again to Ask George. Michael Penharley asks, what does Jack Leach need to do to get Joe Root to trust him to tie up an end so the quicks can rotate from the other?
Do exactly what he did in the latter half of the day. I think he bowled 7 maidens in a row at one stage, didn't he? I thought he was asked to do that holding role and did it pretty well. I thought this is a really significant test for Jack Leach, I think. I don't think there's much doubt about what he can do on turning wickets. He can do that. The worry is about what he can do, and there's not a lot of assistance. And I thought he gave England control that none of the seamers really could replicate. So I thought he came through pretty well, actually.
Were you surprised when Chris Woakes came on, replaced him after, 7 maidens in a row, I think it was?
Yes, if I'm honest, I was a bit. But at the same time, Chris Woakes has been picked as England's strike bowler. And, they're halfway through the first innings. You can't give up on him now.
Will spin be the deciding factor? If so, which team are best equipped? That's from Harley Williams.
Hello, Harley Williams. I don't know that it will. Look, if you looked at the pitch, particularly with sort of English eyes of what you were used to seeing maybe in England, you would think it's going to turn. You would even think it might break up and really turn. But in Antigua, that wicket sometimes just dies. And it might be that this one goes that way. I just don't know, to be honest. But I honestly think that Jack Leach is a very good bowler when the ball turns. That's what he's learned to do. He played on those wickets where he sort of Taunton, where he doesn't put masses on the ball, but he does get, when there's assistance there, he's very good. I don't think that's the doubt about him. So the key thing as well is that, if things go as they might have done or should, West Indies will be batting last. So I still think England are in a pole position, and if there is turn in the wicket, I think Jack Leach is a good guy to exploit it.
Has anyone thought about hypnotising Chris Woakes so he always thinks he's playing in England? That's from Will Cooling.
You see, I get that the ball and the conditions might not be quite what he's used to. It's a Duke's ball, but it's a different Duke's ball from the one used in England. And I get the pitch doesn't offer him the assistance, but he's bowling down the leg side, which suggests that it is maybe mental more than technical. Because I don't know, I've probably been watching Chris Woakes since he was 16 or 17. I don't think I've ever seen him bowl worse. And it was his big audition, and I really like Chris Woakes. Who doesn't? And he's fluffed it. It pains me to say it. He's fluffed his chance. I guess he gets another chance tomorrow and the day after. But whether it's the pressure of knowing that he is England's spearhead, of knowing that Anderson and Broad aren't there, I don't know. But there's always going to be pressure inherent in playing international sport, isn't there? I take no pleasure in saying it, but he had a pretty horrid day.
Reese Bob asks, why is Ben Stokes not fielding in the cordon? Is it tactical or injury related?
Well, the last time I asked, which to be honest is a while ago, it was, I think that sort of mentally he was still worried about his finger. He had that terrible finger injury. And he hadn't yet got the confidence to do it. That was probably in Australia that I asked that question last. So don't know. He's obviously a very good fielder in lots of places. Maybe they're putting him mid on, mid off so that he can talk to the bowlers more, use his experience that way, and maybe they want a settled cordon. Good question. I'll ask.
Does the lack of terrestrial highlights in this series highlight the Ashes obsession? That's from James.
I don't know. Maybe up to a point. I think it probably reminds you that I'm afraid that cricket is a niche sport in the UK. It really is. Certainly when you go to Australia or the Caribbean, and it's so patently more popular, so obviously part of the culture. And it's not in England. I would argue that it's a bit disappointing that the BBC don't show it. We do give them lots of money so that they will show us some sport. But yeah, it's a reminder that we've got a long way to go to make cricket so popular that the audience demands that it's on TV.
Might be the question about when you show it. If plays finishing at 9:30 every evening and
Well, that's a very legit point, of course. But at the same time, you know, with catch up and the ways that people watch TV in the modern age, you know, you would think there's a way around it. But yeah, you make a point.
Does it feel unfair that the West Indian openers got to bat on a different pitch to the England openers? That's from Luke, with tongue firmly in cheek.
Okay, well, so I know you mean it sarcastically, but actually, the conditions were completely different. At the start of the match, the pitch was a bit tacky because the day before, the evening before the game, I think they watered it because they were worried it might break up. So on the first morning, it was a bit damp and the ball did stick and nibble. And by the time England bowled, it was dead and flat. So you know, there is some mitigation for England's performance. At the same stage, as I say, England were wayward. I mean, their lengths were poor, their lines were poor. And, you know, that wasn't the case when West Indies bowled. So, yeah, I take the point, but, you know, some mitigation for the England bowlers.
Who's the best England qualified player never to win a Test cap in your lifetime? That's from Tim Oscroft.
Oh, crikey. I wish I'd looked at that beforehand. Glenn Chappell didn't play a Test match. Barely played at all, did he? Glenn Chappell, I thought, was a really, really good bowler. You know, there's a guy at Warwickshire called Mark Waugh, W-A-G-H. He could bat like God. And I actually got a tip-off from the England selector. Was it David Grave? They were going way back, years and years ago, that he was about to be selected for England. And he slipped over and did his cruciate or something while playing football. And it never happened for him again. But he could really play. I wish I'd thought more about it. There are probably quite a lot of other examples. Hey, Joe Clark could be right up there if he doesn't make it. But you know, I should have looked at that more. But in my lifetime, I don't know. Those guys would be right up there. Yeah.
Are we allowed to say Alan Jones anymore?
Well, I'm not that old. I mean, I never saw him play. But yeah, and you could argue that he sort of got a cap, couldn't you? But yeah, I think that there are probably some other really good examples of people. Do you know, there are some people I've seen playing, like I came on a pre-season tour to the Caribbean once, county pre-season tours, with a guy I reckon was called Michael Comba or Comba. And I remember that because Rhys Topley and Tamal Mills were both about 16, 17, and they stuck out. The three of them stuck out. I thought all three of them would play for England. Well, I got two of them right there. But that guy, Michael, what's his name? He completely disappeared. But yeah, I thought he would have played. But I got lots wrong, you know. I thought Alex Cavesi was going to get lots and lots of Test caps or international caps. And, you know, he plays Birmingham League cricket now. So, you know, sometimes you get it wrong.